Host, ever found yourself wide awake in the quiet stillness of 3 a.m.? As the world sleeps, you might be staring at the ceiling, your mind feeling surprisingly alert. It's a common experience for many of us as we navigate later life, and if you felt a pang of worry or frustration when it happens, you are absolutely not alone. Instead of wondering, what's wrong with me, what if we saw this early awakening as a message? A subtle signal from your body and mind, perhaps even your life journey itself, trying to tell you something important? In this video, we're going to explore 5 profound reasons why this phenomenon of waking around the 3 a.m. hour becomes more prevalent with age. These aren't just simple answers, they're invitations to understand your body, your routines, and your inner world on a deeper level. We'll gently uncover how natural biological shifts, the story your body tells, the rhythm of your days, and the landscape of your emotions all play a role. By the end, I hope you'll approach these early mornings not with dread, but with a new sense of curiosity and compassion for yourself. Let's shed some light on the quiet mystery of the 3 a.m. wake-up. Transition. Host, the first reason is a fundamental biological shift, often referred to as 1. The softening signal of your sleep hormone. Host, think of sleep as being guided by a gentle internal conductor. One of the main musicians in this orchestra is melatonin, the hormone that signals to your body that it's nighttime and it's time to wind down and rest. When you were younger, that melatonin signal likely rose strong and steady in the evening, keeping you sleeping soundly until morning. However, as the decades pass, our bodies naturally tend to produce less melatonin. The signal doesn't disappear, but it can become softer, a little less forceful, and sometimes it starts earlier in the evening. You might still feel tired and fall asleep relatively easily, but by those vulnerable early morning hours, say between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., that naturally diminished level of melatonin may just dip below the threshold needed to keep you anchored in sleep. Your brain might start receiving faint wake-up cues even before the sun is close to rising. This isn't a failure, it's simply a change in your body's complex chemistry over time. What makes this more pronounced for older adults is often an increased sensitivity to light and sound during these low melatonin hours. A sliver of light under the door, the hum of the refrigerator, or a distant siren can more easily nudge you into full wakefulness when your internal sleep signal is already quieter. Imagine Sarah, who's 75. She used to sleep like a log. Now she often wakes up around 3:30 a.m. feeling alert but wishing she could sleep more. Understanding that this is partly due to her body's natural reduction in melatonin has helped her stop feeling frustrated. She started dimming lights earlier in the evening and invested in blackout curtains, not as a cure-all, but as a way to gently support her body's changing needs. This awareness transforms a feeling of being broken into one of working with your body's natural rhythm. Transition. Host, another significant factor is that your entire sleep schedule might be doing something natural. 2. Your internal timekeeper is getting an early start. Host, beyond just melatonin levels, our entire body clock, known as the circadian rhythm, tends to shift forward as we age. This is called advanced sleep phase. It means your body naturally wants to start its day, and therefore end its night, a bit earlier than it used to. In our younger years, busy lives often push our sleep schedule later. Work, social events, late-night obligations, they all act as external anchors, keeping our body clock set to a later rhythm. But as we get older, especially after retirement, many of these external anchors are removed. Your body is free to find its natural rhythm, and for a lot of people, that natural rhythm is simply an earlier one. You might find yourself feeling genuinely sleepy around 8 or 9 p.m., nodding off during a TV show. If you then fall asleep early, say by 9:30 p.m., your body might have completed its necessary sleep cycle by 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. You wake up feeling alert, perhaps even rested, because your body thinks it's already morning, even though the clock on the wall says otherwise. Consider John, age 70. Since retiring, his evenings have become quieter. Dinner is at 6, he reads, and by 9 p.m. he's naturally drowsy. He used to think waking at 3 a.m. was insomnia. Learning about advanced sleep phase was a revelation. His body wasn't struggling to sleep, it was simply finishing its sleep session. John found peace in this understanding and began embracing his early mornings, using the quiet time for reflection or gentle activities instead of fighting to get back to sleep he didn't necessarily need. Recognizing this shift allows for acceptance and adaptation rather than the stress of feeling like your sleep is off. Transition. Host, let's talk about the signals your body might be sending when it wakes you up. 3. Physical signals in the quiet of the night. Host, as we age, our bodies often have more stories to tell, little aches, sensitivities, or needs that were perhaps masked by the busyness of the day in earlier years. In the quiet, dark hours of the night, when distractions fade, these physical signals can become undeniable, pulling you from sleep. Common culprits include the need to use the bathroom, which often increases with age due to changes in bladder function or prostate health in men. That urge can become incredibly difficult to ignore at 3 a.m. Digestive issues like acid reflux, stiffness, or discomfort from conditions like arthritis that build up after lying in one position, or even subtle things like muscle cramps can be enough to interrupt sleep. Medications, which many older adults take regularly, can also contribute. Some have diuretic effects, increasing the need to urinate. Others might affect temperature regulation or contribute to restless leg sensations. Often, we don't immediately connect these wake-ups to a physical cause because it's not a sharp pain or sudden emergency, but rather a growing discomfort or undeniable need. Take Eleanor, a vibrant 78-year-old. She noticed she was waking up around 3 a.m. almost every night needing to get up. She attributed it to aging, but after discussing it with her doctor, they realized a new medication she was taking was affecting her fluid balance. Adjusting the timing of her dosage and staying well hydrated earlier in the day significantly reduced her nighttime trips. These physical wake-ups aren't a sign of failure, but often the body communicating a need for subtle adjustments in how we care for it, day and night. Transition. Host. Our daily patterns might be setting the stage for our nighttime hours. 4. The subtle influence of your daily rhythm and habits. Host. Our lifestyle choices act as powerful cues for our internal body clock. As we age, particularly with changes like retirement or reduced mobility, our daily structure often shifts dramatically. The timing of meals, exposure to light, physical activity levels, and social interaction all influence when our bodies feel ready to sleep and when they're ready to wake. Eating dinner earlier, spending more time in quiet, dimly lit environments in the evening, or experiencing less structured physical activity during the day can all signal to your body that the day is winding down much sooner than it used to. This reinforces that earlier bedtime we discussed, leading naturally to an earlier wake-up. Even seemingly minor habits like afternoon naps can impact nighttime sleep continuity. While a short nap can be restorative, longer or later naps can reduce the sleep drive, the natural biological pressure to sleep that builds throughout the day, making it harder to stay asleep through the night, including past that 3 a.m. mark. Caffeine and alcohol consumption, especially in the later afternoon or evening, also become harder for an aging metabolism to clear, subtly disrupting sleep cycles. Robert, 72, used to be a late-night reader. After retiring, his days became quieter. He started napping after lunch, ate dinner earlier, and his evenings were spent in dim light watching TV. Suddenly, he was waking up at 3 a.m. frustrated. By gently adjusting his schedule, taking a walk in the afternoon sun, keeping lights brighter in the evening, and limiting naps, he was able to nudge his body's natural rhythm back towards a later wake-up time. Our daily choices build the rhythm of our nights, and small, conscious adjustments can make a significant difference. Transition. Host, finally, perhaps the most personal reason of all. 5. When your inner world awakens in the quiet. Host, sometimes the 3 a.m. awakening isn't purely physical or biological. It's when the emotional and psychological landscape of your life comes into focus because the usual daytime noise and distractions are gone. These are the hours when unspoken thoughts, quiet worries, moments of reflection, or unprocessed feelings often surface. This isn't necessarily intense anxiety, though that can certainly play a role. For many older adults, it's a more subtle form of restlessness. The mind, no longer occupied by daily tasks, drifts towards memories, considers past decisions, contemplates relationships, or acknowledges feelings of loneliness or longing that might be less apparent during the day. The profound quiet of 3 a.m. provides a unique space for introspection for the soul to. This can be a time when grief over loss, reflections on life's journey, or even simple creative thoughts choose to make their appearance. It's the accumulation of a lifetime's experience gently requesting attention. For some, the increased quietness of home life means the lack of constant interaction becomes more noticeable at night. Meet Eleanor, a different Eleanor, age 80. Since her husband passed, she keeps busy, but the nights are the hardest. Waking at 3 a.m. became a time when memories flooded back, and the silence felt immense. Instead of tossing and turning in distress, she started keeping a notebook and pen by her bed. When she wakes, she sometimes writes down whatever comes to mind, a memory, a feeling, even a simple to-do for tomorrow. This simple act acknowledges her inner world without demanding she fix it immediately. It's about honoring the thoughts that arise in the quiet, allowing them space, and often this gentle acknowledgement helps ease the path back to rest, or at least shifts the early hours from frustration to thoughtful presence. Transition. Host, so as we bring this discussion to a close, take a quiet moment to reflect. Have you recognized yourself in any of these reasons? The experience of waking around 3 a.m. as you age is complex, weaving together the threads of biology, physical health, daily habits, and the rich tapestry of your emotional life. None of these reasons mean you are failing or that something is fundamentally wrong. In fact, they highlight how incredibly responsive and communicative your body and mind continue to be. Seeing these early wake-ups not as a nuisance, but as potential messages, signals to adjust a habit, check in with your health, listen to your heart, or simply embrace a natural shift in your rhythm can change everything. It allows for a more compassionate approach to sleep and to yourself in this stage of life. You are not alone in this experience. With understanding comes the gentle power to make choices that support your well-being, whether it's adjusting your environment, timing medications, tweaking your daily routine, or simply offering kindness and attention to your inner landscape when it surfaces in the quiet hours. Embrace the understanding that you are not just aging, you are evolving. And with that evolution comes new rhythms, new insights, and a continued opportunity to live with grace and self-awareness. Call to action. Host, thank you for joining me today. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you experienced the 3 a.m. wake-up? Which of these reasons resonated most with you, or do you have another insight to share? Leave a comment below. Your experiences add so much wisdom to this conversation.